introduction about myself. I am the Chief Business Officer at Fino. When we ran into ET, BFSI, and wanted to sort of deliver a session, we wanted to make sure that I'm not being super salesy. At the same time, I'm here sharing certain insights. As the topic suggests, I'm sharing something about certain billion-dollar blind spots which we've seen in BFSI, which I believe that with the help of right technology, bankers would be able to tap on to this innovative way of sort of monetizing their technology investment and going forward. But like I mentioned, I'm a consultant at heart, but because I have a fiduciary duty to my company, I'll first be launching our product. It's a couple of minutes video, but I promise what follows after the video is gonna be hopefully more insightful than you would expect.
In today's world of automation, where millions of messages are sent every hour, do you know which one failed and why? When countless messages are triggered from across multiple applications, are you able to observe, manage, and optimize them easily, or are gaps silently compounding into bigger risks? If your teams are still managing templates manually, chasing delivery failures, or reconciling communication data, you need an upgrade. Introducing Fino, an intelligent communications platform built to end the chaos. Fino consolidates your channels, vendors, templates, workflows, and analytics into a unified enterprise solution ensuring reliability, efficiency, and compliance. Fino is purpose-built to deliver 4 core outcomes. Guaranteed delivery of messages with Fino's configurable cross-channel failover protocol and real-time delivery reports. Our built-in consent management layer ensures customers control their notification preferences, keeping you compliant. Simplify operations with modern template management, approval workflows, and audit trails. Reconcile messaging data accurately across departments and vendors instantly. Easily cut messaging costs using Fino's content optimization module and using smart routing to leverage channel pricing structures. Fino's AI continuously analyzes messaging data to surface insights and cost-saving opportunities. Remove IT bottlenecks in managing communication workflows. With Fino, business teams can switch vendors, update templates, or implement complex rules instantly. Fino is a full-stack solution built with a highly scalable infrastructure and offers a modern interface to today's workforce. Renowned for its real-time processing capabilities, Fino reliably handles millions of messages every day. As messaging channels, regulations, and customer expectations evolve, you need a technology partner to remain future-ready. You need Fino.
As promised, I am not going to speak a word about what we do. I think the sales pitch is over and let's come to some insights. So a quick background about myself. I was with Ernst & Young for a good 8 years. So I've been a consultant all my life, and I wanted to sort of deliver this session where we can hopefully take out something meaningful back. Maybe we implement, maybe we not, but we at least have good conversations, at least getting started on this billion-dollar blind spot. I'm going to break this presentation into 2 core pieces which I want you to follow with me. So please follow whatever I'm just going to say, and then I'm going to bring those 2 things together, which will sort of unfold the insight. We live in a country where we have a 140 crore population. UPI tailwind has tremendously increased messaging volumes across the country. So for every transaction that you do, you today get an alert. It can be a debit alert or a credit alert depending on the type of transaction. Now, this alert today is costing the Indian BFSI 10,000 crores every year, and the number is still underestimated. The number is only growing every year with more and more UPI volumes, and this number is today a dead cost to the industry. There is zero ROI that bankers expect on this cost. It becomes as good as a compliance cost. Plus, there are overarching regulations by RBI, TRAI, DPDP now coming into picture. So this is a number, and it's growing every year. Now let's look at part 2 of the dimension. Bankers just before this session were speaking about the investments that they have made in mobile applications and the fact that each one of them is continuing to accelerate those investments and reap benefits. The data suggests, and I'm sure this data is not accurate, It is much more than what I've seen here, but 50,000 plus crores are already poured into building mobile apps. Everybody today would probably have a mobile app. And the data suggests that about 68% of the customers today operate mobile apps only when they have to do a transaction. 30% of all the built-out features are actually used by customers. Now we are talking about tremendous technology that have been built by each and every bank, investing millions of dollars, but this is a classic example of how a highway is built and you forget building entrance ramps. So anybody out here from Bangalore by any chance? Oh, wonderful, I see a hand going up there. So in Bangalore, there's a fantastic highway built between Bangalore and Mysore, right? You know what, the best part about that highway is there is no entrance ramp. So you built a world-class architecture, you built a world-class technology, but how do people access that technology is still a question mark. All the research and studies have suggested that most of the people use mobile banking apps when they have to transact, when they have to probably do a money transfer. It could be UPI, it could be NEFT, RTGS, or when they have to check balances. But none of them have been actually used to upsell, cross-sell, or maintain that digital relationship with the customer for which investments have been made. So now, again, recapping two pieces. First one, 10,000 plus crores spent every year on messaging alerts, which has zero ROI right now, and more than 50,000 crores and more investments being pumped into technology infrastructure, digital mobile apps by each and every bank. And whenever I say bank, I would sort of request you to correlate it to each and every participant in BFSI as a whole. Now, I see two pieces of the puzzle, and if I were to sort of now wear my consulting hat and think, can I give some wings to these alerts which are today dead costs? Are these dead costs ever able to serve some more purpose than just alerting the customer that, hey, transaction was made? Can I convert them into contextual nudge? It is quite challenging while it's easier said than done. The problem here is the technology infrastructure, the requirement of having every alert generated from core banking systems go through series of AI evaluation, database evaluation, and so on and so forth. It's a problem of extreme engineering. But having said that, does the opportunity exist? That's where Fino was born. Coming back to my sales pitch again, the problem that we started solving was, can we convert the dead cost, give it some wings so that banks could expect ROI on top of it? That's the first problem. Second, can I ensure that meaningfully I'm able to reduce this cost with the mix of channels today which is available, which is beyond just SMS? If you see on the extreme right-hand side, here's a quick example of how an alert could be configured into a meaningful, contextual, hyper-personalized nudge to a customer, where the customer starts believing that the bank is caring about that person. The example that I'm just mentioning is, let's say we all do a UPI transaction, 20,000 bucks, 10,000 bucks. We don't get any reward. Banks don't make any money. In fact, they lose money on all the UPI transactions. A 10 rupee transaction would result in a 20 paisa cost on only messaging, and let alone the infra cost which is there to support UPI transaction at those scales. But if you would repurpose that data and in real time nudge the user with more context, with his history of spending, by getting more data from interconnected tools, can you do something like this? Hey, if you would have spent this 10,000 bucks using a credit card with RuPay enablement, you would have probably received 500 rupee cashback. Now, like I mentioned, it's easier said than done. We're talking about event streaming at hyper scale, being able to query multiple databases at the same time, churning out that insight as to what would be the best offer that I can make to the customer, and repurpose a transactional alert into a meaningful nudge which will make the customer log into the app again. So we are talking about 10,000 crores of alerting cost, loading some wings on top of them so that customers can come back to the mobile app where you're already spending 50,000 crores and plus. Now, why is this not achieved if it is already so simple to put it across? Is the problem that panelists before me have discussed over and over again. There needs to be data lake, there needs to be data warehouse, a single system should be able to connect to each of these siloed systems in a more secure way, which is where exactly Fino comes with. Here's a quick example of how and what Fino does. We're talking about a consolidation layer which sits on top of all your trigger points. These are all engines which banks operate. On the upstream side, connect to every digital touch point that banks have ever invested into. It could be any channel, it could be a mobile app, it could be web app, it could be WhatsApp, and so on and so forth. In between, build out the extensive real-time orchestration engine, which allows you to query, derive insights, operate in real time, and at the same time, build in compliance guardrails, which customers or banks in India are expected to, which customers expect banks in India to sort of take care of, and make sure that the entire journey is now seamless. So where are we going? From cost of alerts to return on alerts, a term that typically I have not seen customers or banks in India using, but just as a reference, and because I come from this consulting background, every time we run some hypothesis, we want to see some success stories that have taken place not in India, but let's say outside of India. So this is something which is pretty common in a country like US, and we're not very far away from when they started. This happened sometime in 2022 there, where a lot of banks, and US Bank leading that kind of a charge, were able to demonstrate this while their consumer base is probably half, or I mean, not even half, it's 20% of what we have. The volumes of transactions are probably 5% of what we have. But the success story is proved. Something like this as an opportunity does exist, can exist, and can be achieved in India with extreme engineering efforts and right use of infrastructure. Problems which my panelists before me are already solving, so we are just sort of creating an application layer which can best use this infrastructure for real-time insights and real-time customer experience. By the way, it was new to me, this term, in-the-moment marketing, but that's what it's called, when you use a real-time, in-the-moment transaction data to sort of provide a contextual nudge to customer. I would park this aside. I don't want to be too salesy about cost optimization, but yeah, there are some 30-odd methods or secrets that you can use to reduce your messaging cost at an overall level. If you're working with vendors, very high probability that they'll never bring it up to you. But because we are an independent, intelligent platform, that's one of the things that we provide off the shelf. Finally, Fino was under the radar for the last 3 years. A lot of you might not have heard about us. It's only been 3 years since we started. We were under the radar. We were doing POCs with a few banks. As we speak today, we work with about 10 BFSI companies, including 5 banks. We've delivered results. It is that stage of our journey where we are now sort of launching ourselves at full scale throttle. And obviously, to sort of top it up, we've got some customer testimonial videos as well, which sort of makes me go back to my business fiduciary duty and sort of present a video to you to just end my note. But yes, thanks a lot for being here. I would just request you to spend a minute more to see the customer video. It's a company called Proteum Finance Limited. It's an NBFC with today services MSMEs and SME with secured loans. And we've been working with them for about 2 years, and they've been a very pioneering partner for us to sort of come to where we are right now. Thank you so much. I'll end the note with a small video, and yep.
Hi, I'm Vivek. I am associate partner at Proteum Finance Limited. Proteum is an engineering-driven finance company. We help SMEs and MSMEs by giving them secured and unsecured loans. As a regulated entity by RBI, we have built our systems based on 3 core pillars: rock-solid information security, unintrusive compliance practices, and scalable innovation. While a loan application moves forward in its journey, we want to keep our customers informed about it. There are different modes of communication available. There is email, SMS, WhatsApp, IVR, app notifications. All of these different channels require integration efforts from our side. That is where we wanted to create a unified modular system which is secure and scalable, can integrate seamlessly into our existing workflow-based journeys. That's when we met Fino, which fulfilled most of the requirement as a technology platform for us. Their unified API interface allowed us to streamline our communication across these different channels into single infra. What was impressive was Fino's approach to compliance and accountability. The platform comes up with single sign-on, role-based access control, workflows with chain management, simulation capabilities, and most impressive one is detailed and normalized audit trails for different channels. Fino also provides an innovative solution called Fino Connect. This Docker container is deployed right next to the source of information, and it removes the need for duplication of information into any other platform. And this aligns with our design principle of keeping a single copy of the data. After using Fino for more than a year, the results are staggering. Our communication infra now requires 90% less engineering bandwidth from us. Fino's zero storage architecture allows to be control of our data, and this perfectly aligns with our principle of data security. At Proteum, we are building the future of secure financial communication in collaboration with Fino.